Well, let's cross live now to Ellen Road to speak to Alan Smith. But Alan, I've got to start with your former club, Arsenal, and their new number 9. He got 2 goals in midweek against Atletico Madrid. Do you think Gyökeres a bit of relief there?
I think so, mate. Yeah, definitely. And you saw the reaction of his teammates. They were all delighted for him. Any successful team, Roman, needs the centre-forward firing. We know that, and I think everybody involved in the club wants him to do well. He's had his critics, partly because, he hasn't scored so many, but he's different in style to a lot of the technically adept Arsenal players. He's a bit more forthright. He's got a lovely turn of pace over 5 yards, and what I love about him is those runs. He knows the art of the centre forward in the box, getting ahead of his centre half, and I maintain that he'll get 20 plus goals this season. So it was a big night for him the other night.
And of course, at Ellen Road tonight, watching a Leeds team that have got 1 Premier League win in their last 7. I mean, can they do it? Can they stay up?
I think they can. I mean, what Daniel Farke will be encouraged by is the fact that for all but one game, and that was the Arsenal away game, they've been competitive. They've been in matches. A bit unlucky not to beat Bournemouth the other week. So as long as you're giving yourself a chance, that you're going to have hope there, and they should certainly have hope tonight against this stuttering West Ham team. A packed Ellen Road behind them. It's going to be some atmosphere because I think all the fans will come along knowing what a big game this is for them.
Yeah, West Ham, I mean, they've got to turn it around tonight, haven't they? Nuno's got to do the business.
Yeah, I mean, I did the game on Monday night, Roman, against Brentford when they were abysmal. You don't use that word lightly, but I've rarely seen a team at home as bad as that in the Premier League. So the thing is with them, they haven't got legs, they haven't got energy and pace, whereas Leeds have. So will they get overrun tonight by the home team? And Nuno, he looks back at his bench, hasn't got too many options, hasn't got too many at all. Kilman and Todibo were really poor the other night against Brentford, but it looks like they've got to play again with Mavropanos injured, so he can't swap it about too much. He's just got to urge his players to give a lot more than they have been.
Amazing. Alan, thank you so much, mate, and enjoy the game.
Thank you.
Incredible stat, 3 goals conceded only in your first 12 games. It's the least in the history of the club. Is there a motivation to create more history, maybe even break Chelsea's record from back in the day?
Yeah, we want that this kind of records that we are getting a lot at the end brings the silverware and the trophies that we want. But obviously the more we can produce, I think the closer we're going to be to achieve what we want to do. And that defensive record is very good, but we need to be consistent. It's only just the start of the season, and the aim is to continue improving things, which we can do still, a lot of them to be even better.
Crystal Palace next, I guess a big game for Eberechi Eze in particular, his first game against his former club. What are his emotions like? What have you noticed?
It's a big game for us because last season here we dropped some points, and it's the 4th game in a row that we're going to play against opponents that we drop points, and this season we've been able to beat them. So he focuses on that. We know that for Eps it's going to be a very special match with the history and what he did for Palace, but the focus is on the team.
Just on those 4 games, because you preempted my next question, but does that form part of your messaging to the team? Look, we didn't win against these 4 teams last season. You've done it with the previous 3. Now the chance to do it with the 4th.
Well, if we want a very different outcome, we better do very different things that we did last year, especially against these fixtures. So we know what Palace are doing, what Oliver has done for the football club, and the way they are getting results. So it's going to be a really tough match, but we're going to play again in front of our crowd, and we are confident if we hit our level, we have a big chance to win it.
Final one from me, Mikel. A lot of people are talking about the strength of your squad. Just from the manager's perspective, does that bring with it its own challenges? Because I'm guessing it can't be easy for you to leave out players who maybe deserve to be in the team. And how accepting, on the flip side, do the players have to be to know, look, you're not going to play as much as maybe you deserve or you want to?
Well, there are 2 sides to it. One, the emotional part and my attachment with the individual, with the person, and I would love to play all of them, but the second one, obviously, without a question of a doubt, I'd rather have this situation, the situation we had in the last few years, when at some point we were very short in numbers. So we have created a very strong environment, a really competitive and supportive environment that hopefully can challenge to be very competitive every game. That's the aim, and that's what we want to achieve, and we just all go towards that direction.
Thank you.
We'll go to Anita from the Premier League.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
You've obviously got some players who are in great form, but looking at Crystal Palace, Jean-Philippe Mateta looks like a completely new player. 5 goals so far in the opening, 8 Premier League games. How do you stop him?
Well, first of all, is obviously what they do as a team at their level of organization. They have very clear intentions of how they want to attack and which moment they use to attack and to hurt opponents. So stopping the source is probably the best way. When you get into certain situation within in 1v1, you know that that is very prolific and it's been very, very successful, especially recently. So trying to avoid that.
From their attacker to one of your attackers, Victor, of course, getting a brace midweek against Atletico. What was your conversation with him like after that? Of course, a lot of rumblings around the...
He didn't need a conversation, he just needed a hug and just look at him and enjoy how happy he was after the game. I think we were all very happy because he fully deserves that.
My final one, 15 goals so far from the opening games. I know you're used to many questions being asked about the manner in which the goals are being scored, with 2/3 of them coming from set pieces. Are you at all concerned that it's only 5 from open play at this stage?
No, not at all. Because I don't see football like open play and set pieces. I see the game in a different way.
Okay, thank you, best of luck.
Ian from Talksport.
Hi Mikel, how are you?
Very good, thank you.
You going on from that then, the set pieces, I mean a lot of people say that Arsenal score most of their goals from set pieces. They still can't stop you. And yet football seems to be going more to teams who want to be like you, scoring from set pieces. How have you done and perfected this?
With work. First of all, creating the culture, giving to that part of the game the importance that it has, understanding that again football is evolving and the opponents are behaving against us, that we have to maximize certain things that happen very frequently. So something that happens very frequently better has a lot of value to us, so trying to maximize that and be effective.
At what point did you say though, or did you hone in on the fact that this was going to be such a rich source of goals and so good for your team?
10 years ago.